Connersville is now in session. Please rise. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Gabe Nobby.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would please silence your phones, we'll have our invocation by Reverend Sean Tipton.
Talking all you guys back here.
Yeah, silence them phones.
Let's pray. God, we're so grateful for who you are. We're grateful for the wonderful weather that we've been having. And I'm so thankful, especially tonight, for the men and women that are willing to serve our community in this city. We ask that discussions that we have tonight and the decisions that are made tonight would be pleasing to you. And God, we ask that you would continue to bless Connersville and let us be a light to the other cities and the communities around us, not for our own glory, but for your glory. And we pray these things in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
I'd like to welcome everyone, especially the high school kids back there. Glad to see your faces. Oh, here comes another ball player.
That's right, Bill. That's what I'm talking about, girl.
All right, like to welcome you all. Let's have roll call, please.
Councilwoman Phillips.
Present.
Councilman Nettie.
Present.
Councilwoman Durham. Councilman Frank.
Here.
Councilman Bishop.
Present.
Councilman Nobby.
Here.
Councilwoman Montgomery.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum. You have the minutes of the September 3rd meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to pass as been presented.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pat, thank you very much. Going down to item 3, Noah, Jen, PSG Energy. Yeah, we're ready for you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, we're coming for two main reasons today, to give some project updates, and to talk through the addendum you just received, as well as answer any of your questions. I do want to say before we get started, jump in if you have something, but Noah and I are both going to stick around after if you have really specific questions or if you think of something later on during the meeting, we'll be around. So I wanted to start with, again, reiterating that our appreciation for your patience and that we've all known and been feeling that this has taken longer than we thought it would in the onset. So I just wanted to remind everyone that is construction projects, and it's multiple, it's 14 construction projects running at the same time, and that it's a long-term investment for the city, and we have the city's best interest in heart. So it's 20-year guarantee we're going to do on the performance. There's an additional 5 years of warranty on the equipment for performance. And then the useful life is considered 30, 40 plus years. So we want to make sure it's done right from the beginning. The city gets all that value. But we do realize, Noah and I, especially Noah, if you haven't had a chance to meet him yet, spends a lot of time with the department heads, with Rosemary and the mayor, meets every other week, and then again throughout the week with the department heads, and probably more up to speed on a lot of the details than you guys are. And so we're coming in today to give an update, and we'd like to come back in the fall and give another update and keep you guys more in the loop.
I like that.
So what I do want to say is, last time we talked, we had started mechanical install in City Hall, Vine, Fire 3, and Fire 4. In these next 2 weeks, we're going to continue with the electrical install, finish that portion up with parallel pathing with Duke. Noah's already been talking to Duke, well, really throughout the whole process, but they know these sites will be ready soon. So Duke, in the same time that we're finishing up the electrical install, they're procuring what they need. We'll come out and install the meters and energize those sites. Then, starting this week, we're starting the installations at Fire 1 and waste transfer. Early in October, we'll be doing the installations on parks and the water treatment plant. At the same time, early to mid-October, we're going to be doing the boring of a number of sites, including wastewater treatment plant. So the airport also has boring. But wastewater treatment plant is the big bore, of course. And then, pending, we'll talk about more this addendum this fall, we would do the street sanitation roofing and move into airport and water tower installs. What I'm saying, we'll get further into it with the addendum, is as these become energized, that's when you'll start having savings at each of these sites. So our 20-year guarantee will come after substantial completion and commissioning, and then the guarantee will start, but you'll have savings during that time. It's really considered construction savings, but like City Hall, if it's ready to go in 3 weeks and Duke puts it in and starts, it'll start saving. It's not like that part is waiting on the savings for wastewater treatment plant to be complete. So each site will start going on its own schedule.
You don't have a specific schedule for Duke yet? Still up in the air?
Yeah, it's up in the air, but Noah's in contact with them quite a bit, and by giving him the Duke local contacts a heads up, they're able to start procuring. Versus if he called when it was all done, then we could maybe have a 2 to 3 week lead time on their items, but they're procuring them in parallel to the path of our installations.
Thanks.
I talk fast, so slow me down when you need to.
Any more questions for him?
Are you talking about the addendum?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna move on to.
Okay, move on.
Okay,
Sorry.
no problem. So the addendum, hits on a few items. When we signed the contract, we had done preliminary analysis, we had seen the bills, and known, the different rate tariffs you guys were exposed to, and also like usage of the sites, but we don't do the further due diligence until we're into the contract, such as the structural, subsurface, and electrical infrastructure. So it is common that the contract can be updated for more or less production. In this instance, we do have to reduce some of our production guarantee for the due diligence we found, but there's a few items that we can bring into our scope and some benefits to the city that go along with that. First thing is, if you were keeping track on our old documents, I didn't speak about the utility Ohio, and we're gonna remove that site from the project. There was electrical infrastructure that Duke was requiring to be put in that made it no longer feasible for the size of the system and savings. But we are adding the EMS building, the new site. We've gone out, we have information on the roof, we still have to perform the structural analysis to get that size finalized, but we do have preliminary designs. Really in the long run, that works out better for the city. There's more opportunity to save there, there's more consumption that we can offset as well to make a bigger impact overall to the city. And we are planning, and you'll see as we go through this exhibit at the end, that it will run on its own savings schedule, so that, because we will hit substantial completion with all the other sites prior, and we're not gonna delay our guarantee. We'll take the guarantee out 1 year further for this site. In addition to EMS, we're gonna be able to pool the roof at street sanitation into our scope. It'll be the roof for the street sanitation building as well as the salt barn. And we have that scope, that added scope in Exhibit A of this addendum. And then there will also be a balance in the contract amount. So we have worked, I've had meetings with the bank. The amount of reduction of the kilowatt hour obligation and the dollars is really negligible to them, that they're not gonna refinance the project. That money will just stay in the account and can be used towards future payments. And that's outlined in number 5 on this addendum. So per that, there's 2 exhibits to it, and the first, Exhibit A, is the roof scope.
Excuse me.
Yes.
On paragraph 6, you mentioned exhibit B and D. Is that
Yes.
part of the original? Because we don't have them. So that's part of the original.
Okay, yeah, Exhibit B is here.
Jen, their copy is missing pages 2 and 4.
We don't have
Oh.
what you're talking about, that's what we're,
Oh, you guys are all like,
Showing
she's
papers
talking
here.
nonsense here.
No, sorry.
that's okay.
Exhibit B and D you're referring to, we don't have it.
We're gonna pass around. Noah and I each have another copy. We can go through. So the second page is really interesting to David because it's like a legal document on it. But the page you'll be most interested in is, if you want to pass it along, is Exhibit B.
We can get us copies.
I'll get you
Yeah, we
copies.
can get copies.
Okay.
This relates to, there was a very similar exhibit.
D's on the old contract, yes, the original
And
contract.
again, I can sit, we'll get copies made, but I can sit with you afterwards too. In the original contract, there was a similar exhibit, so we're looking to
Exhibit D
update that
refers
now.
to
So the contract, it was Exhibit D, Table 1.1, and now Exhibit B in here is just the table. So that wording does go on to say that anywhere in the contract that it referred to Exhibit D, Table 1.1, you now are looking at Exhibit B. The main two things to note is there's a slight reduction in the overall kilowatt hour obligation, which is discussed in detail there. And then there's a year 21. So it was a comprehensive 20-year schedule before, but year 21 goes out 1 year further for the EMS building. You guys see it too? Okay.
Can I ask a
You look
question?
like you have a question. Yes, go ahead.
Did I
Please
hear
proceed.
you, maybe I misunderstood you, but did I hear you say you're behind schedule on this project?
We're not, I wouldn't say that we're like behind schedule. It's taken longer than we thought for some of the due diligence. And there's been quite a few things that happened out of our control, such as the Ball State study. And that was really, took a long time. In addition, we're coinciding with other city projects at some of these sites that we're having to work with and make adjustments.
So how much is your guesstimate that that's gonna put you behind in it with this? I mean, or is it a guesstimate?
A guesstimate to when will be completed. I mean,
But one of the things too, Jen, you know, we was worried about the street department roof,
yeah.
and we was getting bids on that, and now they've accepted, I think if you heard them talk a while ago, they're incorporating now in there, so it's not gonna, we're not gonna have to bid that out or anything.
But that's gonna delay getting that roof on there and getting the polar panels up there on that and.
Yeah, I mean, the quicker we move on this addendum, then we can get the lead time and
Thank you. I already
the
have one.
contractor in for that roof.
Give it to her.
What I would say, Mike, is we're gonna push ahead, and we have green flags on all the sites now, which is big because our anchor site, that large site, had delays out of our control. We're gonna push as far as we can through the fall and into the winter. We hope we don't have to go far into the winter, but I would feel better in a few weeks or early fall coming in and giving you more concrete dates of when we'll be done.
So what are you thinking? Are you a month behind or 2 weeks behind, or am I trying to get you too precise here? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it took a few months longer than we thought it would when it's
Okay.
all gonna be all said and done. I would wanna know also, you know, we've been keeping the city department heads and Rosemary and Mayor Gordon up to date, and we've also been acting accordingly. So we've drawn less money, so like if you look at the draw schedule, it also changed per the impacts we saw and delays of the site, so we haven't drawn as much.
The good thing is the guarantee doesn't start until once they're complete.
Right.
Yeah, but when's first payment due?
Yeah.
We've already made the first payment.
Yeah.
The delay will not affect the overall cost, though, will it?
No.
Okay.
And I see
First
your eyes
payment's
moving,
already
but, and
For
we
the year?
had,
The first payment was made end of June. It was due July 1st. The next payment is due into December for January 1st. And as you can see on the addendum, number 5, it'll say a part of the amount will be applied towards that.
What is that
Payment.
payment amount, is this
It's $104,000.
$104,000.
I understand, is that gonna cover the payment for the December?
Yes, that is the payment amount.
And for July, the other portion of the project, that we didn't bring up tonight because it is complete, is the LED. So you've experienced LED savings and had the LED rebates. The city had those as far back as December or January, really. So those were in place before that first payment as well.
And some of it too is waiting on Duke to set some of the meters too, so.
Yeah, there's been, everyone's working together on the same team, but there has been a lot of work. Take in mind, some of these buildings are older and we ran into electrical infrastructure, and Duke's been a good partner at reviewing it and going through, but they're doing all their due diligence before they approve the interconnections as well. So some of those took longer than anticipated, but we are gonna come out with, the structure's gonna be improved at a lot of these sites and electrical infrastructure. So we're not just throwing solar onto something that may be broken or had Band-Aids before. We're upgrading, improving that electrical infrastructure as we go.
That's good. Okay.
I'm glad to see EMS building is added to it. So when the mayor acquired that building, there was some unforeseen costs. So even right now, unless you've done some structural inspection, we don't know about that south roof, do we? And that where the doors they had question on and that south
Yeah,
wall.
well, yeah, but it's been, if you come into the office, I have the plans for it. And so it is gonna be rebuilt up, so we're working on that,
It has
Okay.
to be.
yeah.
We don't have a
Because I'm
choice.
sure there's weight to this, these things.
Right.
so.
Right. I know it's
There'll be
gonna,
a steel beam put across, steel beams going up, so it'll be better than what it is right now.
It has to be completely redone, Dave, what they told me.
So,
Thank you.
and you guys are staying around, so if there's questions,
yes, yeah.
okay.
You guys, I can be here as long as you need, if you have any questions. And then I'll make sure to work with Rosemary and Mayor Gordon to get back on the agenda in a few weeks here, so we can keep you guys more in the loop of everything.
Would it be
I did get
possible-
them copies, so.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yes,
good.
Thank you.
Could
Okay.
you get us, if it's possible, get us the copies before the, prior to the meeting, so we got time to.
That was my fault, Mike. I had it and I
That's
just
no big
copied
deal. That's okay, thank you.
2 sides instead of all 4 sides.
That's fine.
That was my mistake. Thank you.
She is human.
Thank you.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Don't
Hey,
worry
I
about
wanna
it.
buy you guys a t-shirt.
Don't worry about it, Rosemary.
The clerk treasurer's happy, you'll be happy.
Number C. Number C.
Oh, no. You want me to go on, huh? All
Yes,
right.
go.
Okay, got item C, item B, that's what, the reason we stretched that is because you heard them talk about they're gonna take care of the roof when they do the work over there on the street department. Okay, Catherine? You guys wanted to update on the River's Edge?
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Good. Well, I wanted to come in tonight and give everybody an update on River's Edge. Of course, I can answer any other questions you might have about the parks too, if you have anything going on. John is pulling up a map for us. That's the, oh, here we go. I sent him like 2 different things, so he's being a good sport with me in my emails. So if you just scroll down, it's on the. I don't know the last time you guys
Justin
saw
didn't
a
have that
map.
much trouble this afternoon.
Yeah. I threw a lot of things at John just now, and it's my fault. Maybe it's the next one. Well, that's okay. You can go back up. I can just tell you what the differences are on these maps. If you go back up, John, to the... I'm trying to show you the overall layout. I don't know the last time you guys saw it. There it is. You can just stop there. So the only thing that has been changed, get my map going the right way, is the playground. Let's see. No, that's the same one. this road has been moved. The road is kind of going like this now, but that's not that big of a change. So we are working on phase one. What we've done the majority of the last 2 weeks is recut the roads from last fall. We put the stone down and the millings down and are compacting that so the construction vehicles can get out there. So the road where you would turn in off Veterans Memorial, like if you go to the canoe launch, from there all the way north and out to where it'd be over here where the concession building is, that's all been done. So that is ready to go for construction vehicles. That's what we've been working on now. This space is going to include the amphitheater, which is what this is right here, and then the playground, and the concession shelter building, which the shelter will just kind of come off of the concession building, and it'll be open air, so it'll be kind of, a roof that comes off that building. So we'll have this, and this complete by Thanksgiving. That's the plan. We met with, the construction's being done by N Construction, which is Alston Nesbitt. Met with him again last week. Right now we are prepared for Eric Frank to come in. He will be drilling the post holes for the concession building as well as doing the slab. So that is the next step. Alston said that he would be ordering materials today or tomorrow. And then he expects Eric out in the next couple of weeks. He did not anticipate any problems with materials because nothing that he's ordering requires a much lead time. So he's ordering metal, 2x4s, trusses, and posts. He doesn't anticipate any problems with those orders. He is looking more closely at the playground because it's a combination of building it and ordering pre-made parts like the slides and stuff. So he's looking more closely at that. So the first thing they're going to work on is the concession stand. And John, if you could scroll down now, I can show you what some of the renderings are. There's a rendering on here of the concession building and then one of the playgrounds. Oh, and I'm sorry, and there's the amphitheater. So that's what the amphitheater will look like. It's going to be kind of angled, and then it will take advantage of that. There's a natural slope to the property, so you can take your blanket or your chair to see the concerts. I think, yeah, there's the playground. So you can see where it's kind of a combination of what they're going to build and what they're going to install. And again, these aren't exact, they're just kind of,
Specs.
yeah. And then we should have one more on there of the concession building. Somewhere.
Is this all still in phase one, Catherine, or?
Yeah, this is all phase one, so these 3 items will be completed. There's the concession, so that's what I'm talking about, that's the shelter. It just kind of juts off the main building, and is open throughout. So, Alston's first step is going to be to build this building. That's the first thing that's going to go up. After that, he's going to split his crew, and they will split between the amphitheater and the playground. And his timeline is to be done by Thanksgiving, so hopefully before that. So I just wanted to give you guys an update.
Thank you.
If you follow the park on Facebook, and I hope you do, we are always posting. We are really trying to communicate what we're doing. I posted a video last Friday, if you want to watch it in your spare time. It's riveting, it's me talking. No, it's really bad. I try social media, I do my best. I tried to do like a tour, so it is live, it's video of the actual property and what's out there. So if you want to see it, you can, or you're able to drive out there now, you won't get stuck. So That's really all I had for
Why
River's
don't you explain
Edge.
on what we had with DNR,
On the canoe launch?
on the canoe launch,
Okay.
yeah.
I talked a little bit this morning or earlier today at the Board of Works about the canoe launch. Mike Winter had raised some concerns about the condition of the area. And after talking with the DNR, actually I have my notes somewhere here. It's not a situation where we just rely on the DNR to come in and fix everything. The DNR is responsible for the entrance road and major components of the ramp. So if it were to completely wash out, the DNR would be responsible to come in and fix that. There seems to have been a little bit of a misunderstanding in the past between the park and the DNR about who was responsible for what. The park thought that we weren't allowed to work down there because it was a DNR site, and that's not the case. We are allowed to do whatever we need to work on down there. They don't care.
So you're responsible for the cleanup, emptying trash cans and that kind of stuff?
We are responsible to mow the grass, remove the trash. We are responsible to keep the silt off the ramp. If it gets to be an excessive amount where we need heavy equipment, the DNR will come in. And they are willing to come in now and help us. It's just they aren't available until almost November because this is their installation season. So they're doing ramps at lots of other places. So rather than wait until November, I think we just need to push forward and try to get it cleaned off as best we can. We have dumped 20 tons of stone at the top of the ramp, paid for by the DNR. We've requested 100 more tons of stone and 20 tons of riprap, and that's all paid for by the DNR. That was ordered early last week, so hopefully it will be here soon, and we will be able to lay stone and grade it all the way from the top of the hill all the way out to the parking lot, and then the riprap will go out on the sides of the ramp to hopefully keep the silt at bay, but it's just something we're going to battle
Every time the river comes up.
every time.
Are we buying the stone locally, or is that, or we have to outsource it?
I believe he bought it from, I might have wrote it down. He asked for somebody local, and I said we did have an IMI.
Yes.
It either came from there or Rushville, I don't
Okay.
remember.
That's fine.
Because DNR's paying for all the stone,
They are,
so.
yeah.
And their thing on the silt we was talking about today, we just put a water main out there, and Brad's getting us a cost on how to run a 2-inch line down so we can hook up a fire hose to wash off the silt when we get the river up. So instead, because it's hard to back anything down there to
It's pretty
hose it
steep.
down. So I got Brad getting us some cost on that, and then we'll put that in for so Catherine's crew can go down there and wash the silt just off the ramp.
It is
Brad,
something where people need to just use good sense, though, good common sense, and if it looks really muddy, maybe it's not the best day to launch your kayak at the ramp that day. We just have to use good sense, so.
Yeah, one person
We
went
will do
out
our best.
and got stuck, and 2 out there went to help him, and they got stuck.
Yeah.
Let
So,
me ask you or Brad, would just placing a flush hydrant out there be sufficient if you're gonna run 2-inch anyway?
I'm not really excited about it, to tell you the truth, because you can see that woods.
Yeah,
That's where we gotta run the water line through,
yeah.
Yeah.
down through all those trees.
That's gonna
Are
be
you hoping to trench it instead?
I was gonna measure it and see how much it's gonna cost. I think it's gonna be like $1 million.
I think Harold was gonna pay for it.
Mike will pay for it. Oh,
DNR.
Mike, DNR, yeah, we'll tell the DNR to pay for it. No, well, we'll do the best we can to keep it, as clear as we can. It is kind of, the weeds have been sprayed. I know that was another concern that was brought up a couple weeks ago. The weed spray does take a couple weeks to kill the weeds, and if you drive by it now, you can see they're all black and ready to fall over. But now that we are more clear about what our responsibilities are, we'll be able to take a better care of it down there, so
Okay.
that's all I had. Unless anybody.
Something long-term you may want to think about, once you get all these nice buildings installed and everything done, you may want to take a look and put some security cameras up in there. Because I guarantee you it will happen. Thank you, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thanks, Catherine. Okay, we're going down to item D, Resolution 2019-52. Excuse me, Rosemary.
Resolution 2019-52 is a resolution to reimburse the police telephone in the amount of $249.99 and to reimburse the the fire head appropriation for department head for $60.94.
I move we pass resolution 2019-52.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second to pass Resolution 2019-52. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Going down to item E, pending ordinance 3510. Rosemary?
It's, we reviewed the budget. We were able to make additional cuts because the one health insurance came in at only a 1% increase instead of the estimated 8%. So that's where we're able to reduce $200,000 out of it. That's all right.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending ordinance 3510.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to pass pending ordinance 3510 on first reading, and we can only do this on the first reading tonight. Okay, so is there any more discussion? I'll take a roll call vote. Go ahead.
Councilman Frank,
Yes, but can I get a copy of all the changes that were made, please?
you didn't have one in today's
No, I did not.
packet?
No.
Councilman Bishop,
Yes.
Councilman Nobby,
Yes.
Councilman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Nutty,
Yes.
Okay, the rest of it will come up in the first meeting in October. Going down to item F.
you have to have a public hearing.
Oh. Didn't see that one. So we'll close the meeting and open up for public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this issue?
And you guys want to talk to budget?
Anybody? If not, I'll close the public hearing.
Okay,
That was
now-
easy.
Yeah, going down.
Okay, going down to item F, pending ordinance 3511.
It is to transfer within the cable TV, moving $260 from the printing appropriation to motor vehicle repair appropriation.
Small repair. Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending ordinance 3511.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass pending ordinance 3511 on first reading. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there a motion to suspend the rules and go to third and final?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion second to pass pending ordinance 35, suspend the rules on motion pending ordinance 3511. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll move on to pass pending ordinance 3511 on third reading.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion second to pass pending ordinance 3511 on third and final. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Going down to old business. Is there any old business that people would like to talk about? Council? If not, we'll go on down
I
the,
do want to say I appreciate the issue that up on 35th Street. Residents had a concern, and it was taken care of within just a couple days. Greatly appreciate all those involved, you and several people know who they are. Just appreciate the city and county working together on that.
thank you, David. Okay, going down to miscellaneous business. Diana?
Okay. I would like to state before I read this, that this directive is the culmination of a months-long effort by the ordinance committee, as well as the entire council, our city attorney, and the mayor. This is regarding city ordinances, and the single most frequent complaints that we as city officials receive are unkempt properties, high grass, weeds, junk littering yards and porches, and junk cars littering yards and alleys. Until now, despite efforts to deal with these issues, long-term results and resolutions have been less than satisfactory. So we have decided to go in a different direction when it comes to dealing with ordinance infractions. Starting tomorrow, a 30-day amnesty period will be in effect, and then beginning on October 17th, our ordinance enforcer and/or our local police officers will issue citations on the spot for ordinance violations. While not being the only ordinances cited, emphasis will be placed on the following offenses: weeds, high grass, tires, junk on porches and in yards, and unlicensed junk vehicles. First offense citations will come with a $50 fine. The offender will be given 5 days to abate the offense unless other arrangements are approved by Dennis Myers, our ordinance enforcer. If at the end of the 5-day period the situation has not been rectified, the matter will then be cited into court with the disposition to be decided by the judge. If you currently have mattresses, refrigerators, stoves, bags of trash, old tires, and just junk in general littering your yard or porch, or your backyards, back porches, we encourage you to dispose of them prior to October 17th to avoid a citation. Items may be taken to the Connersville Transfer Station, located at 1020 South State Road 121, for disposal. Their rates are very reasonable. For example, mattresses are $7 each, box springs $7 each, a couch is $9, and a chair is $5. Pickup loads vary according to size. Tires are $2 off the rim and $5 on the rim. These charges are far less than a $50 fine, plus the possibility of additional court costs and fines. We want to be clear that our city ordinances apply to business properties as well as residential and rental properties. We will no longer wait for complaints from citizens, although they will still be welcomed and will be investigated. Our law enforcement officers, as well as our ordinance enforcer, have the authority to issue on-the-spot citations and will do so at their discretion when they observe them. First impressions are lasting. Visitors to our city should not be subjected to high grass and weeds, including areas between sidewalks and streets. They should no longer see porches and lawns piled with appliances, junk, trash, or yards littered with unlicensed and junk vehicles. And also, instead of posting on social media, please call Dennis Myers, our ordinance enforcer, with questions or concerns at 825-2111 or at 765-541-9852. If you would like to speak to someone at the transfer station, you can reach them at 765-825-9881 or the mayor's office at 825-4211.
And the reason we're taking this step is we're getting more of this than we do potholes. And that is when potholes take the back seat, something's wrong. So this committee, we had an ordinance committee. They worked very hard on doing this. We're trying to do it as nice as possible, but sometimes you can't be nice anymore. And so this is the approach that we're taking. please use your 30 days and get things cleaned up, okay? I appreciate that, so. Anybody else got anything they'd like to say?
I would just like to add to echo what Diane said. This wasn't just thrown together. We have worked diligently at getting these items in place, making them more effective, less time consuming. We've met with other cities on what their programs are, and we were far behind. So I just encourage everyone to pay attention to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please. Thank you, Mayor.
And I know that a lot of street department work has been set back because they had to clean yards and mow yards and haul away trash. So that's unfortunate. You want your streets in good shape. So they'll have more time to do that, hopefully. Also, there will be, probably on social media, lots of people who may not like this and find fault with it, and also start asking about this situation or that situation or this situation. And because you can't address every situation, the clause is they will work with the homeowner, and you can always call them with questions.
Like I said, it's that these actions will be taken if there have not been prior arrangements or arrangements with the ordinance enforcer. We know people at times have situations that they're not in control of, but I mean, we have lists. I'm not going to go into addresses, but this is the list right now of properties that are in violation.
They've gotten the letters.
This is, I mean,
And I want to be very clear, it's not 5 days, it's 5 working days.
well,
Because
okay.
we're not counting Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, most of the time, Saturday and Sunday would be included in that, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
5 working days. Well, yeah,
Assume.
right. So, and like I said, this is a double column. This is a double column. And we just had, I mean, it's just out of control
It's not
until.
all of them.
No, and this isn't
It's
all
not all
of
of
them.
them.
Absolutely. I have 4 more right now for this. And it's just, it's happening because it can, and that's not gonna be the case anymore.
And before, we had so much expense in mailing out letters
Right.
and so much time involved where there was, well, what, a month and 6 weeks?
Right. Yeah, sometimes 3 months. Do you have a question, John?
Yeah, just real quick, if you can give me a copy of that letter and the information, we'll make sure that that goes on the webpage and social media tomorrow. That way, if people were confused by what was said tonight, they can read it tomorrow. So,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay.
I think I've got that.
That's the one, yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
That's the one I just read.
I'll talk to you afterwards. We'll make sure we'll get that on.
Okay,
John, the clarifications was 5 working days as opposed to just 5 days. And
Okay.
Diana wanted to make sure that that included backyards and back porches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Anything else under miscellaneous business? If not, we'll go on down to the public forum. Is there anyone out there who would like to speak on any issue? Bella?
Nothing like being influenced.
Okay, if not, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, adjourn.